Hey gang, Bill Sheridan here with the Maryland Association of CPAs and the Business Learning Institute. Let's wrap up the day with a look at what's happening around the CPA profession today, Monday, February 1st, 2016. Welcome to February, everyone. First up, due to the effects of the recent snowstorm, Maryland Comptroller Peter Francho has announced an extension of 3 business tax returns that were due on January 31st. Francho extended quarterly withholding for the fourth quarter of 2015, the International Fuel Tax Agreement, or IFTA, and the Motor Fuels Tax. The new due date for those is February 12th. Get details at capitalgazette.com. A proposal released by the Financial Accounting Standards Board tackles 8 issues in cash flow reporting. The proposed accounting standards update provides guidance to reduce the diversity in practice in the statement of cash flows. The issues contained in the proposal, which is titled Statement of Cash Flows, Classification of Certain Receipts and Cash Payments, were originally identified and considered by the FASB's Emerging Issues Task Force. That's an advisory group to the FASB consisting of industry experts. The task force found that there was a lack of sufficient guidance, or that existing guidance was unclear in 8 areas of cash flow reporting. Edith Ornstein has written more about each of the 8 issues on our blog. You can read her report in its entirety at cpasuccess.com. The American Institute of CPAs has sent comments to the IRS and the Treasury Department asking for changes in the IRS draft Form 8971 entitled Information Regarding Beneficiaries Acquiring Property from a Decedent. In its January 29th letter, the AICPA suggested 8 recommendations for consideration by the IRS. Among them, the AICPA asked for the IRS to clarify that if IRS Form 706, titled U.S. Estate and Generation Skipping Transfer Tax Return, is filed solely for electing portability, then Form 8971 is not required. Get further details at accountingtoday.com. Consumer awareness of identity theft and tax-related fraud is on the rise this year, and along with it, increased concerns over becoming a victim. Experian recently surveyed consumers nationwide for its annual tax study. The number of respondents familiar with identity theft and tax fraud has risen almost 20% over the past 2 years to 76%. That's compared with only 57% in 2014 and 63% last year. In addition, 42% of respondents are now concerned that someone could access their personal data through their tax return. That's compared to only 35% in 2014 and 38% in 2015. Read more about that report at cpapracticeadvisor.com. If you're among the cynics who figure that companies with higher corporate social responsibility pay less in taxes, well, you're right. According to a study published by the Accounting Review, that's the Journal of the American Accounting Association, higher corporate social responsibility corresponds to lower taxes paid. In a sample of U.S. companies with an effective tax rate averaging 26%, the do-gooders that rank in the top 5th of corporate social responsibility paid an average of 1.7 percentage points below other companies, and ultimately about 6% less when factoring in other differences in tax rates. Corporate responsibility includes things like community commitment, diversity, employee relations, environment, and product safety and quality. You can read more about that at accountingweb.com. The Institute of Internal Auditors has proposed changes to its standards for internal audit professionals with a goal of helping practitioners meet the evolving demands of today's dynamic business environment. The proposed changes to the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing focus on 3 areas. First, enhancing existing standards on communications and quality assurance. Second, creating new standards addressing objectivity in assurance and consulting roles, as well as addressing new roles internal audit functions are taking on. And third, aligning existing standards to a new set of core principles incorporated last year into the International Professional Practices Framework. Read more about that at journalofaccountancy.com. 38% of organizations are turning to outside services to supplement the efforts of their internal audit function. That's according to a new survey of chief audit executives. The report from the Institute of Internal Auditors Research Foundation found the financial sector to be the biggest user of outside help, with 45% of organizations using third parties for internal audit activities. That was followed by publicly traded companies excluding the financial sector, at 43%. Read more at accountingtoday.com. The Securities and Exchange Commission plans to scale back examinations of brokers so it can shift resources to improve oversight of investment advisors, which have traditionally faced less scrutiny. That's according to several people familiar with the matter. The staffing change at the SEC would address what some see as a major gap in its routine monitoring of investment advisory firms after years of debate by the agency and Congress over ways to bolster oversight of the sector. The sources declined to be identified because the plan has not been publicly announced yet. Get details at Reuters.com. Finally, the next round of Tom Hood's amazing town hall meetings and professional issues updates is being scheduled. The next one on deck is a special business and industry-themed town hall meeting that's scheduled for March 23rd at Johns Hopkins University in Montgomery. It's free for members and worth 4 hours of CPE. Don't miss it. Get details and register at macpa.org/townhall. That's it for today. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow.